Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Estate Agent Advantage. My name is Lorne Cooper, and I'm here with Ron McIntosh. Say hi to the good people.
Hi, everybody.
Today, we're going to talk about your specific experience, because I've never been in the managerial position or ownership of a brokerage, but you have. Why did you leave that?
There was actually a couple things, and I can actually talk about this all day, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. When I got in the business, it was always my end goal to either own a brokerage, be a partner in a brokerage. So I kind of started out as a sales rep, built a small team.
Well, even before that, give people an idea. I mean, your father's been in real estate for years and years and years.
35 years,
You've had the insight in the business for a very long time.
Yep.
And been able to sort of see it from that perspective, outside and then inside. So
Yep.
really understanding that, you came into it with those goals in mind.
Yeah, and I actually started like back in the early 90s with a real estate sign company. So I owned a real estate sign company, got into home inspections, air quality, mold inspections. Then I became a realtor. Then I started a team. Then I wanted to move to the next level. So I went to a management position. Then I bought a franchise, a big name franchise. I did a 6-month due diligence so I could do my homework. They hired me as a general manager, and after 3 months, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, there's no money here. I don't know how they're surviving. And it just kind of was like a piggy bank for the owner because he kind of inherited it. So I didn't close on that deal. I went into management at another brokerage, was quite successful, did really well. That's where Lorne and I met.
Yep.
So I was there for 3 or 4 years with still the intention of owning. So I asked about buying in, getting some equity in the company. The evaluation was too high, so I started looking elsewhere. I got another opportunity to get a joint venture with another big name brokerage. I went there. I was there for a year, but the same thing came up. It was like, there's no money here. You have all this liability, all this overhead, all these expenses, and there's no money. So after doing more research, you're finding out that the average brokerage profitability is 3.7%. So to make $1 million, I'm making $37,000. It just didn't make sense to me. So I started looking for other opportunities and kind of ended up at EXP because I get the opportunity to own my own brokerage. I have no geographical restrictions. I have no big expenditure to start it or to build it out or to purchase an existing one. The liability's removed. All my admin, my management, all of that stuff is gone. And I now have an international brokerage that I own, or I own a part of. And like I said, there's no geographical restrictions. I can just grow nationally or internationally. And it's not just based on my efforts, and I don't have to hire a manager. Our network is building the company together. And yeah,
because it benefits everybody.
It benefits everybody.
Unlike a traditional brokerage where everybody's doing their own thing and they're just in it for their own self-interests, and then it really just benefits the person at the top being the owner of the brokerage.
Right.
In this situation, it's a little bit different.
Even not even just the owner of the brokerage. I mean, the money that the agents or the revenue that the agents are generating, it's got to go up so many levels to get to the top.
So the owner of the brokerage is typically a franchise, whether it be Century 21, Remax, whatever, Coldwell Banker. And then they have to pay the region, which then pays the international company. So the agents themselves are the ones that are generating the income and all that.
Right.
Now, in that model, you said the average profitability of that type of model brokerage is about 3.7%.
3.7%.
How the hell is that possible?
It's just the way it is. It's because the old way of doing business was like a 50-50 split, and the brokerage made money.
Right.
But the model's kind of changed, and now those type of brokerages are more of like a landlord. They're just getting a minimum amount of revenue from you to cover their costs and everything. And a lot of the times, the actual owner of the franchise is the top producing agent in the company. So you're now competing with the owner of the brokerage. Or they're so big that, they can sustain it. But it almost feels like a house of cards that at any time it can fall apart. Yeah.
Well, because you said, from the outside looking in, you become an agent, you think you want to move up to the next level, so you build a team, right?
Yeah.
And then you're leveraging yourself. And even team leaders, I know team leaders that are losing money, depending on the cost structure, right?
Yeah.
And then, but there are some obviously that are doing great.
Yeah.
But to go from that so there are some teams that go, and we know of many, even in this area, that go from, a franchise, a well-known brand, and then think, okay, well, we're our own little ecosystem. Why don't we take it out of that brand and just do our own brokerage?
Yep.
They do that, and then they're losing money because of all these different reasons.
Well, all the costs that they didn't think of, right? Or
and the additional responsibilities and liabilities. Yeah, absolutely.
And they were successful because they were a great agent, but they might not be a great owner. Right?
Yes.
So that transition, not always. There are some that have done it successfully and done very well.
Yeah.
Again, like there's also some very successful franchises, but the average is 3.7. And a lot of teams or a lot of big successful agents, when they transition to ownership or open their own company, they're not successful because they're too busy running the brokerage to be out selling, where they should have stayed selling and outsourced the management or running. But then again, you're incurring more costs. So I left all of that to come to this model because I eliminated all of that. I'm running an international company, and I have none of the responsibility of a traditional old-fashioned brokerage.
Well, the other thing when it comes to brokerages, there's a saying that they say, the brokers are always broker than everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now
I
kind of understand why.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at it, retention is always a big problem, whether you're running a team or running a brokerage. There's always people moving in and moving out. And in this type of system, in EXP Realty or similar systems, though there aren't that many that I would say are similar, but in that system, there's like a built-in retention model because people can then essentially build their own brokerages within brokerages within brokerages and teams within teams. So that pays them all these different forms, through stocks and through residual income. And so even if, let's say you're the team leader and I come to you and I get to a certain level and I think, I've kind of got this now figured out. I can do it on my own. Rather than leaving you and being basically just a competitor and you losing out on all the time and effort invested in me, I would stay in that system because it benefits you and it benefits me. So because I've already got all this other momentum built up, by building up a residual income and stocks and all that. So that's why it makes sense when you're thinking about taking your business to the next level, explore all the options. I mean, that's where I was when I was looking at this. I was thinking, do I build a big team now? Because I've always been a solo agent. Do I build a big traditional team? And then I looked at this EXP thing and, I can do that, but I can also build a modern team and I'm not stuck geographically to my little area. I can do it internationally.
Exactly. And not only that, if the old-fashioned model or the old-fashioned way of doing business was everybody recruits, all companies recruit or they wouldn't exist.
I get recruited every week by
every
company.
day I got some sort of email or something, but they all recruit, but it's based on the efforts of usually one or two people. So
benefit only one or two people.
Right. So then the company that I was at before, I was one of the guys that were bringing the people in, but it was only me. So it took 8 years for them to build the office of the size it was that I was at. I left, and within a year, I've already outgrown. My network is bigger than the brokerage I was at because, like Lauren alluded to, we all collaborate. It's mutual beneficial to all of us to build this because we all share in the revenue.
And for all of us to be successful.
Right. So we're in financial alignment. So it's like a compounding effect, right? Like Lauren comes in, joins me. Now he's got his own company, and somebody comes in with him. So now we're all building the same thing, and we all have ownership in this international company, which is very cool.
Yeah, I like that. I don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a franchise.
That was the big thing for me is I didn't have to write a check for $400,000. I can just come here, write a check for $199, and I have my own brokerage. And I'm international, not geographically restricted.
Okay, well, I think that answers the question.
There you go.
All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you got some good information. If you have questions for us, you can reach out to us directly or in the comment section down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video.
Have a great day.